All right, before we get started, I just have to cover one thing here. I don't have anything against Jenny Frizen. Jenny Frizen, if you're watching, you're awesome. Keep up the good work. Hi, I'm Christopher, aka the Bronze Age Nerd, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about the 5 comic books that I'm not going to be buying this week. So the point of this series is to take a look at lists like the Key Collector Trending 20 or CBSI Hot 10 or Cover Price Top 10, and to identify 5 comic books that I don't think are good investments and talk about that. The whole point of this is to basically try to chill some of the FOMO that's out there and maybe kind of provide a counterpoint to some of the reasons why people might speculate on these books. So without further ado, let's get to the number 5 book on the list, which this week is Sweet Tooth number 1. Confession time, I've never read Sweet Tooth. I really need to, I know, but I have watched the TV series. I'm starting to watch season 2 right now as it's appeared on Netflix, and I enjoy it quite a bit. But this to me is one of the worst times to buy a book like Sweet Tooth. This is something that happened last time that Sweet Tooth season 1 came out, which, you'd think that the hype would kind of be at its all-time, greatness right there. And Sweet Tooth 1 really never became an established key going forward from that point. So now here we are in season 2. I don't hear a lot of people talking about. There's a lot of other stuff going on with TV shows and stuff that's catching people's attention right now, movies. Sweet Tooth's not getting much love. So I think it's a really prime candidate for a book not to buy this week. And I look forward to tracking the prices 6 months and 1 year later in my price look backs for this series. At number 4, we have our first Jenny Frizen book, which you kind of heard me talk about and tease in the opener there. Unfortunately, World Tree number 1. This is the 1 in 10 Jenny Frizen cover, which is a gorgeous cover, by the way. Lands on the list because it shows up on those hot lists, and I just think it's the worst time to buy this book. That was a heavily ordered book, heavily printed with a lot of exclusives, tons of exclusives, which means a lot of people got their hands on 1s and 10s. So this kind of comes on the heels of the Air printing, the dark cover being a big deal, and I think that makes actually more sense because I can see why that might be something that people go for. It's kind of like the 1-for-1 Spawn printing error that happens if you open the first page of Spawn number 1, open the cover up. There's kind of a smear that can happen there in the logo. That's kind of what I think that air printing's like. And this 1 in 10 was still heavily printed, so I don't really think that it's going to be a rare book, and I don't think it's going to hold value. It is a gorgeous cover. I look forward to picking it up when it's a little bit cheaper because I failed to pre-order it for basically the same reason. I didn't think it'd be worth much, and we'll see how that'll hold up in 6 months. At number 3 on the list, it's Jenny Frizen, which is why I apologize to Jenny Frizen in the front of the show. This is Poison Ivy number 12. This is the foil 1 in 50 cover. Also another cool cover. I've picked on these foil variants from DC quite a bit because the foil treatment on them is not very pretty. It doesn't actually pop very much. I think they would have been better off doing, a brighter chromium, or I don't know exactly, what would make it pop better, but these are gorgeous covers on their own, and I really have liked a lot of the foil ones they've done. This one just isn't a winner for me for investment purposes, and that's why it lands on the list. Say it with me now. Just because you see a rumor that Mila Kunis is going to be Ben Grimm in Fantastic Four does not make it true. I am getting really tired of these casting rumors and leaks becoming fact for people. We have a lot of them out there right now regarding the Fantastic Four, such as Adam Driver portraying Reed Richards, which I think has a little bit more of a possibility of being true. Personally, I'd love to see him as Doom, but that's just me. But he's already done the bad guy in a mask thing, so actually I guess I wouldn't like that. But I've enjoyed him in a few of his roles. I just don't think he'd make a good Reed personally, but I'd love to be proven wrong. The other thing that we've seen about this is that Mila Kunis is potentially going to play Ben Grimm, aka The Thing. So is it clobbering time or what? I really don't believe this. I think that if they are going to cast a female as Ben Grimm, a female actress in that role, I don't think it'll be Mila Kunis. I think it would be somebody else. Now, the old rumor was that it would be Seth Rogen, so I guess this is a step up. I don't know. But yeah, it's just a tough one for me to swallow, and I don't put much faith behind this. So the reason I'm talking about this is Fantastic Four number 310 popped up on the list this week, and that is the kind of sort of appearance of the first female Thing. To me, even if Mila Kunis is playing the Thing, this is really weak, and I don't put much stock in that. That's why I'm out. So that brings us to number 1 on the list. And speaking of number 1, let's talk about first appearances or second appearances or first full appearances or when they're the same thing. It's a little confusing. We're talking about Spider-Boy, of course, because it's comic books in 2023, and Spider-Boy is all that matters. Spider-Man number 8 landed on the hot list this week because Spider-Man number 8 is doing really well. It kind of came out a little bit before release that it was going to be an appearance of Spider-Boy, and now you have people trying to, I think, take advantage of this and call this the first full appearance of Spider-Boy. By the way, a first full appearance when you've only had one other appearance is a second appearance. Let's just clear that up right now. But when you're talking about this particular character, that Spider-Man 7 that came out where he's in it, that's a first full appearance. Lock solid. In my mind, anybody who's trying to debate that with you has reason to kind of put their money on a different horse, if you will. And they probably want Spider-Man 8 to do better because they have more copies of it. That's my personal opinion, because I just don't see how you could say that Spider-Man 8 is a first full appearance when he appears in pretty much every kind of measurable statistic you want to talk about in Spider-Man 7 as a first full appearance, in my opinion. But even if it wasn't a first full appearance, Spider-Man 8 still is his second appearance, and second appearances can be important. After all, we do have Dan Slott calling this the second appearance, which is important and something that we should pay attention to, like when creators like, say, Todd McFarlane say that ASM 299 is the first full appearance of Venom. Be that as it may, we're talking about Spider-Boy right now, and with Spider-Boy, this book will probably come back and have some value if Spider-Boy becomes a character with longevity. That very much remains to be seen if that's true going forward, but if that is the case, then I would see this book rise in the future. The problem is, right now, this is a flash in the pan, and this book is going to drop here pretty soon. Mark my words, if you're looking for a copy of this, you'll be able to pick it up pretty soon. So I put all my shares in investing in FOC on Spider-Boy 7. I didn't order any Spider-Boy or Spider-Man 7s. I didn't order any Spider-Man 8s. And, you know, I'd love to have a copy. I'm sure I'll be able to get one here in a couple months for a lot lower price, and I'll be happy with that. So that's what makes it the number one book for me not to buy this week on the top 5 not to buy list. If you've enjoyed this list, you might want to consider becoming a channel member. There's a button down below where you can join my channel memberships, and I want to thank all my channel members who are appearing on the screen right now. They make this show possible through so many different ways, and I really appreciate their support. If you want to check out more Bronze Age nerd content, I am live every week over on the EXP channel on YouTube. That's Nick Barucci and company's channel from Dynamic Forces and Dynamite Comics. So definitely check out that channel over there. I'm live every Monday night with Kyle. We do a show called Devil's Advocates where we talk about topics like first appearances, slabbing or not slabbing, digital versus print media, all kinds of fun stuff. So definitely come check us out over there on the EXP, live every Monday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Time or 9 p.m. Eastern. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I want to remind you, as always, hey, 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 hey. Read comics every day.